From Melbourne, and welcome to this piece of Australian sporting history. For the first time ever, two Australian boxers fighting for a recognised world title. Well, with me, two commentators from Sydney, the ABC specialist boxing commentator John O'Reilly, and at the far end, a huge welcome to a huge man. Twice went the distance with Muhammad Ali, once with Joe Frazier. I don't really need to introduce Joe Bugner.
The crowd was nervous. There was an energy in the crowd. Imagine a warm, humid day outside, and you know lightning's going to strike. You know it. And you just don't want to be there when it strikes. He's to be Featherweight again, like he was. Oh, boy, let's go. It was a hot night. I was counting. Let's go, Keith. Let's get this on. Nah, he can wait 15, 20 minutes. Bugger him. And the TV crew came in, you've got to come out. We're going to time, we're losing time. I wasn't sure what was happening. He said, go on the chair, put your feet up and relax. We're going out there in 15, 20 minutes. Make him wait. Who does he think he is? And that's exactly what we done. We made him wait. And I come out after, I don't know if it was 15 or 16 minutes, it was a long time.
I just knew he had to come out. I was happy. I was in the ring, ready to fight for the world title. Wouldn't have mattered if Lester had to take an hour, because I knew he had to come out. Everyone was there waiting to see the fight, and I was happy to be there, believe me.
By the time Lester was ready, he was craving the fight. From the moment he emerged into the light of Festival Hall, he was seeking out Barry again.
As soon as I got in the ring, I was very angry straight away. I looked at him and walked straight over to him. I told him what I thought of him. He told me what he thought of me. He said to me, oh, thanks for the title, Lester. I said, really? See you in a couple of minutes. We'll see about that.
I think there seems to be a slight animosity between the two men.
The crowd was fantastic. They were there, a lot of them, to see Lester win.
Barry had taught Lester how to use his mouth to psych out opponents, and was curious to hear what Lester would say.
As Lester was growing up, and I'd run with him, and I'd spar with him, and I'd train with him, and he got into my head, and I got into his head, and I taught him how to psych opponents out, and he used to sit ringside and watch me fight guys, and tell them what I was doing to them as I'd be ripping them in the body and whatever. And the night we got in the ring, I knew Lester was going to try it on me, but I knew it wasn't going to work.
I said, Ferry, I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to embarrass you, I'm going to bash you, I'm going to hurt you bad. He said, look, I've been kicking your ass since you were 12 years old. Can you tell your mother to get a shoes out of me pedal man? Like, he was just firing up, and I fired up bad. So I said, mate, this fight has happened. I'm going to hurt you bad. No way. I'll beat you all your life, and I'll beat you tonight again.
I said to him at one stage, Lester, I've taught you everything you know, but not everything I know.
And we're all ready now for round one of this World Junior Lightweight Championship between the champion, Lester Ellis, coming out of the red corner, and the challenger, Barry Michael. Two Melbourne boys. Barry Michael scores for the back to the title ahead.
Lester went to the ring that night to inflict pain and punishment on Barry. I think he was hurt, he was emotionally hurt about the previous treatment over.
It was vicious from the outset, and neither was willing to concede an inch of canvas. Barry knew the violence of Lester's punches, and he clinched instinctively to keep his combatant close. Lester broke away to land ferocious, jarring blows. But between punches, Barry kept taunting Lester.
Good punches to the head, left and right. Certainly very determined.
During the course of the fight, he will say things like, is that as hard as you can hit? My mother punches harder than you. And then Lester will try to load up, because that can get you on edge too. You get loaded up. You think, he accuses me of not punching as hard as his mother. I'll show him. And that's what Barry tries to get you to do.
In the second and third rounds, Barry kept stalking forwards. Years earlier, he'd taught Lester how to body punch, and they dug in hard to each other's midrifts, each trying to better the other's attack. Still, Barry kept his mouth close to Lester's ear.
I've never experienced anybody who talks in the ring. Never experienced it. So every time I hit something on grain or tactics or a combination or I hit him with a good shot and wobble him, he recovered so quickly and come back with words. I said, take it easy, I'll catch up to you. But the talking didn't affect me. So the rest of these 12 rounds to go yet, mate, pull up, I'll catch up to you. And it got into my brain a little bit.
Finally, 30 seconds from the round's end, Lester did as he was expected to do.
In the third round, Lester hit me with some bombs. That was when Gus Mercurio had warned me for hitting low, and he picked me up perfectly with the uppercut and crashed me with the right hand on the chin. And my trainer, Ray Styles, kept saying to me, watch the right hand, watch the right hand. And we'd sparred thousands around, and I was never hurt in the gym by Lester, even though he hit me some good shots. But that right hand he hit me with seriously hurt me, and he knew I was hurt, pushed me against the ropes, bombarded me with both hands, and I tried to grab him. He pushed me off again and bombarded me again.
Barry had never been so hurt, not even by Earthquake Carter. The punches had lifted him off the floor.
Put me in what they call the half dream room. It's like an explosion in your head, and blackness and stars and pins and needles in my feet. I couldn't feel my legs for a few seconds, and I knew I was badly hurt. He bombed me, pushed me against the ropes. I tried to grab him, and basically you can't see him. It's all black, but I could feel the pins and needles in my feet, so I knew I was still standing. And finally I got hold of him, and I said, Lester, if that's the best you can do, you want to forget it. So yeah, it was tough.
You were hit with some beautiful punches there. And a very good third round of this World Championship contest.
Having predicted a third round knockout, the Ellis camp didn't realise how close they'd come. But Barry had survived, and Lester had left the door slightly open.
Lester was just giving him a bath. He was just knocking him from one post to the other. But it was still, like there was 12 rounds to go. I'm not happy till it's over. It's no good celebrating until it's done. You haven't won till you've won, and you haven't lost till the end of the fight either.
Ellis fought without guile but ruthlessly. Over the next few rounds, as Ellis's violence reached its full ferocity, the pattern continued. Barry boring in, Lester spinning out and raining down hurtful punches. Barry greeted Lester's blows with a grin, but in close, over Lester's shoulder, he grimaced. On the referee's blind side, Michael used his alley cat instincts, holding, dragging laces, and goading Lester with words.
Barry was egging Lester on. Lester bit. Lester wanted to skin Barry alive. As a result, he loaded up with every punch. If you throw a punch, it's loaded, and you miss it. It takes as much energy out of you as it does if you landed the punch.
On more than one occasion.
Lester was ahead on points, and Barry had survived 6 rounds, and his punches were becoming increasingly insistent.
I think a lot of people in the boxing business will realise that Barry Michael does mean business, and that just because he's 13 years old, he's not over the hill.
At the end of rounds, Barry was raising his hands victoriously to tease the crowd. Enraging Lester would stalk to his corner after reluctantly heeding the bell.
You're really beyond exhaustion, and you've got a bloke in front of you trying to take your head off, and you're not even sure sometimes if you're winning the round. I'd come back to the corner and say, what round is it? And you lose track of the rounds as well, because you're that focused on physically and mentally on what you're doing in there, and it's really tough. It really is hard.